Hi everyone, Jonathan here as usual. As you can probably guess, there is no such thing as true L-mount lenses for 50 euros. As always, we're going to talk about vintage glass. I'll be sharing my experience adapting my beloved Fujinon 55mm 1.8 and my new Beroflex 135mm f2.8. I never used adapted lenses on a full frame sensor because the S9 is my first full frame camera, and it's so nice to see these lenses for what they truly are without the micro four thirds crop. And to be honest, in the last years I've been adapting especially the Fujinon 55mm to my micro four thirds cameras, but I was using a speed booster, so the crop was more like APS-C, but still it was not the full sensor, basically, the full frame sensor. And it's nice because I've always loved the 55mm. In this case, I've been using it for like 10 years, I don't know, because it was like I found it at home when I started doing digital photography. It was attached to an old analog camera of my grandpa. And always loved that lens, and it's nice to use it as a 55mm. So it's I think that I can say that it's my daily driver because it's compact, and it's by the way, it's this one, as you can see, it could be more compact with the adapter. It's not that compact, but still it's compact. So I've always loved this kind of focal length from 40mm to 55, 60mm, so a normal lens, and I'm glad that I adapted it to the S9, Of course, it's a vintage lens. This one in particular is from the 70s, from 1975, I think, the 80s, around that time, so you have to like that kind of look. It's a bit softer, of course, especially at 1.8. I'm tending to use it more at f4, f5.6, f8, so it's not as soft, of course, but still you have to like that kind of look. I personally like it. I try to mimic the aesthetic of film also with the editing, so it's a good starting point for me, especially to edit the pictures in the end. So in general, I will say that for my particular, in particular for my photography style, it works. Of course, using a manual lens, vintage lens is a bit different, so you have to be a bit more, you have to be more precise in general, and especially focusing at f1.8 on a full frame sensor, it's very surgical, very precise, That's also why I prefer using it stop down a bit. As I was saying, f4 at least, f5.6, f8, also f11. It depends on the situation, of course. So from this point of view, it was easier to use it on micro four thirds sensor because more things were in focus. I could use it at f1.8 and it was still fine. So for example, talking about different situations, I took it to take pictures on the march here in Lisbon on the 25th of April, so the march for the liberation from the dictatorship here in Portugal in the 70s. And it was a nice experience. I took a lot of interesting pictures, but at first when I started, I was trying to get, some portraits of the people around, and I was trying to use it at f1.8, and after like 5 minutes I understood that it was not doable. I was going to end up without results, basically without anything in general to edit, anything acceptable, because everything was out of focus, of course. So I tried to use it a sort of hyperfocal. I tried to use a sort of hyperfocal effect, like shooting at f11 or also f16, and it was working. It was better for sure. In comparison to f1.8, but still I had to get used to it, because of course usually we talk about hyperfocal, talking about 28mm lens or stuff like this, and it's a bit easier, with a 55mm you still have to have things in focus, even if you stop down. So in the end, I was glad that I used this lens in particular, because it would have been easier to shoot this kind of event with my 18-40, the kit lens that I bought with the S9, that is wider, of course, that has autofocus. It would have made more sense from some points of view. But at the same time, I thought that shooting this particular event with the 55mm and knowing that I was doing, was of course manual focusing, and I was paying more attention to what I was doing, I think that it added a bit of a personal touch, to the whole thing. So yeah, in general, I think that it was a nice idea. Still, maybe next time I'm going to photograph an event like this, I will think of bringing an autofocus lens just to be sure, just in case. But the overall experience was nice, I have to say. And I'm not going to talk politics in this channel. Like as usual, I don't talk politics that much. Yeah, sometimes I talk politics, but not like that much. But still, in this, in today's world of oppression, of lack of democracy, of war also, I think that it was nice to see a lot of people, like in this case in Lisbon, marching together for democracy, for freedom. I think that is something that is not, you don't have to be positioned on a side or on the other of the political spectrum. Of course, it was more of a leftist thing. But still, freedom is for everyone. When the dictatorship ended, I said that I was not going to talk politics, but still, it's something for everyone, and I firmly believe that everyone should be free. It's nice to see people who are united under the same belief, and it was a nice experience, and I'm glad that I documented it with my pictures. Moving on to the other lens, the Beroflex 135mm f2.8, that is this one, a lens that my brother calls the spy, because, you could use it to spy on people. I don't do that, but some people could argue that taking pictures of people, it's the same thing as spying. I don't know, but still, it's a nice name, the Spy, and I bought it on Vinted for 20, I found it for 25 euros, and I think that it's a very good price. It's a vintage lens as well, so always manual focus. This one is even more tricky because it's a 135mm, so the focus area is smaller, shorter. But apart from this, I'm liking it. I used it the other day. I went to take a walk, here in Costa Caparica, took some pictures at the beach, on the streets in general. Took some pictures during the walk, and I think that it was a nice add to my little collection. I needed something a bit longer, and I didn't want to, to spend like a large amount of money buying a digital telephoto lens. So I think that for now it's doing what it has to do in general. To be honest, I found it sharp, and probably sharper than what I thought, because even if it's a manual focus lens, even if it's a vintage lens, a bit stopped down, but also f2.8, I think that it was pretty sharp, pretty detailed, and at this point you're already seeing some of the pictures that I took, so you can judge by yourself. So just to recap, now I have, as I said, the 18-40, the 55, and the 135. I'm totally new to the L mount, so I don't know a lot about the lenses that are available for this particular mount. I'm not new to adapting M42 lenses, as I said before, but in general, guys, if you have some suggestions for M42 lenses or for L mount lenses that you like in general, just let me know here in the comment section. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and last thing, I called this video 2 lenses for 50 euros because this one I paid it 25. The Fujinon, I found it at home, but I think that it's that you can find it on the market, on the used market, of course, for like 20-25 euros. So more or less it's 50 euros. The adapter that I bought, this one from KNF Concept, from M42 to L mount, of course, I bought it for like 20 euros on Vinted, maybe something less. So it's totally doable if you want to adapt this kind of lenses to your L mount cameras. Let me know if you have some suggestions, like in general, and I think that's all. See you in the next video. Bye.